training camp that's held on domestic soil. He's headed to Rio on the 3rd, I believe. They're going to Houston on the 2nd to get their credentials and their gear, and then they go over. Things are good. He's back in our room. Had a great workout yesterday. He's going to be in the weight room this afternoon, and he's on track. We feel good about him, and I think most importantly, he feels good about where he's at.
What does it mean for the Hawkeye Wrestling Club to have the 16th wrestler in the Olympic Games?
I mean, the Olympics are the Olympics. They're every 4 years, and this program has 5 champions, and you know they don't come every cycle, as we know, and we're fortunate and you know ecstatic really about having a alumni represent again for the 16th time.
I mean, the experience you guys have had, a lot of people can talk to him about what it's going to be like. Have you talked to him about the experiences and what to expect?
He knows what it's going to be like. I mean, if you're focused, the Olympics are, you know, an elite level competition. It's not necessarily about, oh, this is the Olympics and you haven't been there before, we got to really get him ready. Ultimately, he's going to step on a mat that's going to be the same size as ones he's competed on before. His opponents are going to be after the same thing he is. That's the gold medal. Put the gold medal in the pocket, and you know we just gotta, as a team and a individual, him going forward. We just gotta make sure that you know the hype and the things that can derail you don't. And really, you guys know him. You've seen him for years. He has a very quiet mind and a calm spirit right now, and he's the best I've ever seen him. So, you know, moving forward, it's not going to be a problem. It should not be a problem.
He's going to be down there a while before he wrestles. What do you do in that time period from when you get there until it's time to get on the mat?
Well, the USA Wrestling and the national staff, you know, made the decision to go early so that, you know, our freestyle wrestlers could catch the opening ceremonies. Where even when I wrestled in 2000, I wrestled on the last day, the day of the closing ceremony. So, you know, you have that, which way do you go? Do you let them rest domestically and miss the opening ceremonies, or really how do you want to do this and how do you want to piece this together? So when they make that decision, and you know, we're going back 2 or 3 months, and really for Coach Burnett, he was talking about this last year at the World Championships, is which way do we go with it? So once that decision's made in your head, you're good with it. You know, you're going forward, you have a plan, you have things where, you know, one day it might change a day or two, but really you're going forward with the knowledge that you already have, so it's not going to derail you. What do? You get ready. You got to be able to acclimate. Acclimation isn't just about the time zones. It's about being away from your house. It's about being away from mowing the yard. It's about being away from your dog or a pet if you have one. It's about, you know, the things that are familiar. It's about being away from this room or this program. So, you know, there's a lot of things that go into acclimation, and that part that I talked about earlier with a quiet mind, it's very important that you have that because of those reasons.
He mentioned how, because you've went to the Olympics at a later age, after college, after you've been wrestling for a while, he's really leaned on you for his training. How have you seen his training differ, and how have you tried to help him as he gets ready?
He's a lot better than I was, so that's number one. He's calm. You know, I keep saying, you know, quiet mind, calm spirit, and he is. He's very calm. He's you know, there was some times in his career where after the NCAA tournament, when he was trying to piece together, you know, not only his wrestling career but his life, there was a lot of adversity and maybe conflicts in his mind, and he's done a really good job of bringing his mind and his body and his spirit together, where everything is, you know, together. What's the word I'm trying to say here? You know, he's in a very good spot. As far as leaning on me, you know, I don't see it that way. I think he leans on, you know, the things that can help him the most, and he's a very smart and a courageous competitor, and he's going to figure it out.
I'm not sure I've seen any Olympian who seems less, I don't know, excited's the wrong word, but less amped. Is that a good thing? Does that work for him?
I think so. I think that you can't read his mind either. I mean, he's one of these guys like, let's go climb a mountain, So it does work for him because that's who he is and that's what he is about, and that's really where he found himself, was getting down to that and letting go of the past and letting go of the bitterness or whatever it was that was holding him back over the last couple of years since he graduated. So, there might be some truth to that, but there's also amped is, in the way that I define it, is you're getting ready to compete. And so if he's got to be, hey man, whatever, what's next, bring it on, if that's amped, or if that's what's next and that's how you get ready for what's next, then he is amped. You don't have to be intense the whole time either, because that intensity will show up when it's time.
Did you think 2 years ago we'd be having this conversation about Daniel Dennis going to the Olympics?
I did. I thought it was always potential, like I said to a guy earlier today, the guy that you had me call, you wonder, how does this happen? Well, I think that my brother and I both thought that it was possible. Now, let's go back to March. I mean, we have two guys in the weight class, right? So how do you know? How do you know? Well, we're going to figure it out one way or another is what we're wanting as coaches. And Daniel was the one that was, mature enough to persevere through that test and that get on that Olympic team. So, that's huge.
Anything else for Terry? Is he an easy guy to coach?
He is an easy guy to coach.
How so?
He's open. He's, most importantly, he's coachable and he's open to suggestion. Even if he disagrees with you, he'll look at you eye to eye and come back around maybe an hour or two later and have a conversation about it. And, a coach and athlete don't always have to agree. I think they just have to be on the same page and understand why one is saying whatever's on their mind and the other one, understanding why they're saying it. And that's what makes him, that's where he's made his game. That's where he's really matured.
Easy guy to coach. Is he a fun guy to hang out with?
I think he's a really fun guy to hang out with.
Have you gone rock climbing with him?
I have not. I got to be careful with what I say here, but he would climb me into a hole. Let's just say that. By these forearms, they're not what they used to be, and I felt his gut wrench. And if his gut wrench is that tough, I can imagine what he's doing on the surface of a rock.
Just one more question. Your brother being in his corner, how do you think that will help him?
It's the little things that matter, and if that's a little thing that, pushes him over to the gold medal, then we'll take it. But, if Tom gets run over by a bus down there and, well, then I guess I'd be there. But if we both get run over by a bus down there and, we're neither one of us are in his corner, then he's going to figure it out. Is it going to be the reason he wins? I don't think so. I think he's going to be that reason.
Will you be in the corner too? Will you both be in the corner?
I doubt that I will be in the corner. I will be, with the backdrop, making sure that we know the criteria, in case of a tight match.